This device is called a current balance. We have a power supply here, and if we look closely, we see that it goes all the way up to 25 amps. We need most of that, but the wire, the current comes in like this, goes through the bottom of these two wires here. Okay, it goes through the bottom wire, comes out here, and then the wire comes around and enters here, which means it goes this way. And so on the top wire, it's going that way. It's going towards the right on the bottom, towards the left on the top. It returns and goes back to the power supply. So we have the whole thing set up here. There's a magnetic damping system here, just so that it doesn't take forever for it to equilibrate. And I'm going to turn on the power here, turn it up to about 15 amps. Whoops, clumsy me. And that brought the two of them apart. Let's turn it back to zero here, zero current, and it goes back to its equilibrium. I turn it on with about 15 amps, and they repel. So in this case, opposites repel. It's the opposite of what we've been taught to understand about things. So if we have light currents like this, they're both traveling towards the right. Current I2 is going to produce a magnetic field. Here's the right-hand rule that tells us it's pointing out of the board. And if we have a B field pointing that way, IL cross B will be IL cross B. The force will be downward. I can do the same analysis for the magnetic field produced by I1 at I2. It's going to point into the board, and when I do that, I find that the force will be attractive on both parts. Now, what happens if I have the currents traveling in opposite directions? Then I2 sets up this magnetic field pointing into the board up above. So if I use my right-hand rule, I slap that way, and it's going to be repulsive force. This is what we've just seen. So let me go back to the current balance, and I'm going to switch a thing or two. Just give me a second. I'm going to take the current that comes in here. Excuse me for having only two hands here. I'm going to swap it with the current coming in on this side. I'm going to have to move the whole thing closer to the power supply. And now I have both currents should be going in the same direction. So when I turn on the power, here goes, power on. I see that they come together. So again, for this particular system, opposites repel and likes attract.